welcome back to OK Sister Podcast. My name is Mads.
My name is Scout, and as always, we are so happy that you are here.
Yes, and this is quite the episode, okay? Yeah. Because we turned the tables, and I interviewed Scout and her new co-founder, Hannah of REVUE.
I know. This is a wild moment for me. I feel like this is like the real soft launch of REVUE. I know I've been talking about it, but I have a co-founder, which you sisters might be like, excuse me, what? Scout? We explain it all in this interview, yes. But bringing Hannah on to really talk about what we're doing with REVUE and how we're launching it in January was really, really special.
Yes.
What's it like to see me with a co-founder?
I mean, you seem so aligned, like so happy. I think there's a renewed energy.
Yeah.
And
isn't it crazy how similar we are?
Yeah, you guys are like it's like a little scary.
I know.
But I think it's going to be the perfect foundation for this next venture for you.
I know. I'm really excited, sisters. And it would mean the world for me if you guys have listened to OK Sister Podcast. If you followed me, if you would also join the REVUE world. We talk a lot about the newsletter in this episode.
You're going to want to be subscribed.
Yeah, you're going to be subscribed. It's like the best newsletter ever, in my opinion. It's been called the Coffee Table of Newsletters, if that gives you, the Coffee Table Book of Newsletters, if that gives you, the Coffee Table Book of Newsletters, if that gives you any indication, and you can sign up. All the links will be in the show notes, or you can just go to revueeditorial.com/OKSister to sign up for my Sunday newsletter, and we'll be launching in January, but you'll hear all the details in this episode. And thanks, Mads, for hosting this one for me.
Of course.
I hope you're excited.
So proud of you. I'm very excited.
Are you proud of me?
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah?
Yeah. This feels so much more you.
Isn't this it for me?
Yeah.
I just feel like my life's about to change.
Yeah. No, it is. It's about to explode.
I really feel that way. I don't have any hard metrics or milestones or specific manifestations around REVUE. I just know that it feels so good. Yeah. And that it's where I'm supposed to be, and I'm just following that feeling. Yeah. So
that's what we want
subscribe to the newsletter, revueeditorial.com/OKSister, and please welcome my co-founder, Hannah Wells, to OK Sister Podcast.
Hello. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Matt. I'm setting the scene.
Okay, set the scene.
I am now the host of the OK Sister Podcast.
This episode.
Mads is the single host.
Yes.
Wow. I've never been
But Scout's on the episode.
Yeah, they can fucking hear you. You're speaking. Okay.
I'm just clarifying.
Okay. But we have two guests on today. We have Scout and Hannah, the co-founders of REVUE. Yay! That was a very sad yay.
Well, I don't know.
I don't want to scream into the mic because internally it's a very happy yay. So if I really went for it, it would be bad.
People would be turning it off because they would blow it.
Yeah. This is an exclusive because
this is
Hannah and I coming out with our relationship, actually.
This is your B'nai Mitzvah. This is your guys' coming out story.
Yes. Yeah.
This is a hard launch. After
hard launch. That's a little better.
I think the B'nai Mitzvah is pushing, that metaphor is not working, but
I'm coming out. Woo! I'm so excited for you guys. Yay. Okay, so exclusive. OK Sister Pod.
Scout has a partner.
Yeah. A business partner.
Yes.
Apparently Hannah doesn't know the lore. Or maybe she does.
I know bits and pieces.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Scout, many a time on this podcast, shat on anyone who had a co-founder, said it was she would never in a million years have a co-founder. It was a staple, a part of our podcast.
It was vagina sweat, and Scout doesn't have business partners.
Yeah, we need to pull the clips.
So and so then we're in the car, she's like, oh, so I'm gonna have a co-founder for REVUE. I was like, all right. Okay, I guess we're just going against everything we believe. But
listen, we like country music now. Anything is possible.
That is very true. That is very true.
Yeah.
Because if you heard us maybe 3 years ago on the pod, things can change. Anyways, so we're so excited to have you, and let's start there. Why did you feel the need to bring? Because you had REVUE as an idea for yourself.
Yeah.
And then I know Hannah also was kind of parallel thinking of something similar. Yeah. So talk to us about the decision.
Okay, so it wasn't necessarily something that I was actively seeking. It was,
which I think is how the best type of partnerships come to be.
Yes. So yes, I've been on the record saying I don't want a partnership. And as I was first, I met with. Well, we can talk about how we met. Hannah and I, in a past life / last year, worked together on something in other businesses, and I don't know how to say like. It didn't really work, kind of. I guess that we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we don't need to get into the gory details.
We don't have to go into the details. And Hannah lives in San Diego, and she has a daughter that's 4 months or 6 months? 4 months. 4 months.
Something like that.
Yeah. Younger.
She's around there.
Than my daughter. And so Hannah was DMing me to hang out, like, it just says, like, mom friends. And we all know it's been hard for me to find mom friends.
Yeah.
But I literally, would ignore her because I was so embarrassed that this, like, work thing didn't really pan out. And she would DM me, and then I would like leave it for 2 weeks, and then I'd be like, yeah, sure, like what's your schedule like next month? And then you know how we do it.
Sure.
We pushed it off for like 8 months.
Yeah. I pushed it off for 8 months.
That's what like being a mom is, I feel like, is just pushing plans down the calendar.
But like I was actively pushing it because I like,
got it. You
didn't know why she would want to hang out with me.
Cute.
And then when we finally met, we went to coffee in La Jolla, and I told her, I was like, I've actually been ignoring you because I just like felt bad about something. And Shana was like, I literally have not thought about that.
Didn't ever think about said
thing
event ever again. Like it was just gone in my mind.
That's what I think that's one of the, like life's biggest lessons is you like make something so much bigger in your head than what it is. So you typically just either say it out loud and be like, hey, I just like nip it in the bud, or you're just gonna make it bigger in your head.
Yeah,
in your head.
I made it huge in my head.
Totally.
I was so happy when you said it to me too in person, because I would have hated for our friendship to carry on with like not knowing that. It's so powerful to just like say that thing and then wipe it from the slate and move on.
Yeah, for sure.
If we weren't even friends yet and we're like wiping the slate.
Yeah. I mean, look.
But we met, and it was like, we both, aside from, and Hannah, I can start telling you a little bit about like how this came to be, but aside from all of like the kind of business signs that just started happening for us, I was like, I met my mom friend. Like I met my mom friend. She's exactly like me. She's literally everything I've been looking at a mom from, and I told you that I met a mom friend. And so for me at the very beginning, that was like, at least I had that. Mm-hmm. You can say what you were thinking.
No, I was thinking the same thing. I did not. So I am actually the opposite. I'm like a firm believer in business partnerships. I think that they're really beautiful. And when you find people that can like balance each other and have different skill sets, I always like to use the example. I haven't met that many men that found a business by themselves. They're usually always doing it with a co-founder. And I think that a lot of success can come from that. So I believe in partnerships, but I didn't go hang out with Scout thinking that
you're going to become a business partner. Yeah.
I was like taking a little hiatus. I had left my last business and was just like wanting a mom friend in San Diego, went to hang out, and just like a series of events unfolded.
Yeah,
but it was like,
it was
guided.
But Scott, did you talk about REVUE on that first date?
Yeah, so we were our first date. I said out loud, I was like, are we supposed to work together? Because I didn't know she left her last business, and it just like came down like as a download, and she was like, I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, when I was driving to go hang out with her, I had this weird feeling. I was like, we're gonna like do something together. But to be honest, I was thinking of like Scout's agency, and I was like, no, like that's just not, I know where I'm very like deeply connected to myself right now, and I kind of know where I'm headed and like what I want to be doing. And I was like, it's nothing that like I know of, and I didn't really know about REVUE. Like I had seen her like tag thing, you know, but I wasn't like deeply connected to it. So I was driving there and I was like, oh, that's so weird. And then we sit down and I tell her that I like exited my last business, and she's literally like telling me that she was like, wait, I just had the weirdest feeling that we're going to do something together. And I had like felt that too, but I kind of just like set it to the side. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's weird.
What were you? So you were taking a little break, like you weren't looking for something.
No, I had like decided that I was gonna have a summer of fun with my daughter. I literally called it the summer of fun, and I was like, I'm not working. I'm literally just going to like see where the universe brings me. And
there you go.
Then
but she started saying things about what she's looking for in her next business because she wanted to start another business, and everything she was saying was literally the mission statement.
So what were those things?
REVUE. I can tell you what you said.
Do you
remember?
I know why I'm doing this, like, but I don't know word for word that day what I said.
Word for word, we're like, I'm looking for something that is back to luxury and quality and artistry.
Oh, yes. No, I do remember
You're
that.
like, I want to start maybe a product-based brand or something like a Poosh or a Goop. Like literally, like I was like, are you reading my fucking mind?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Because that is the truth. I literally was having, so I'm very woo. People will start to like deeply woo, very spiritual.
Oh,
and
welcome. Yeah. Welcome to the
You're
pod.
like, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
And all of my meditation. So when I first exited my last business, I was thinking, maybe I'll just like get on TikTok and like start yapping and like see what happens. And it felt so deeply out of alignment. And in all of my
Sounds like someone else.
Yeah. I was like, this is just not it. Like, I don't want to be a personal brand. I don't want to like go just be one of these people like spreading advice. Like it just didn't, it felt so deeply out of alignment. And in all of my meditations, I would just like have these downloads of like quality and beauty and like bringing intention back into the world of like the modern woman. And so we were having this conversation, and even at that point, it never crossed my mind that we would do REVUE together.
Yeah, at that point, I don't think it did. It was just like, how could someone be so aligned? Like we both wanted to start new businesses where we weren't the face of the brand, but that the work was the work itself. And so we hung out a couple times, and the next time we were hanging out, we kept talking business. You kept saying partnership, and it's kind of like when you're on a first date and you guys, or like you meet,
you're about to
and
say
you're
it.
like talking around the fact that you guys like each other.
But you're waiting. Yeah. It's like the first one saying, I love you. You're just kind of like,
Yeah. And
Same
I was not like, it took me a while to get there because
because of
My
said
staunch-
anti-partnership.
my anti-partnership things, but it was just like, I felt like we were talking, but we were having another conversation that wasn't being said.
There was like an underlying vibe
And
there.
like, we were hanging out with our girls, and where do we take them? To the Inn at Rancho Santa Fe, because literally Hannah and I are the same person. So I'm like, this is amazing. We're taking our girls to the inn. They're running around the inn. We're like having a beautiful lunch, but we keep talking about like what Hannah's looking for, but that she's in no rush and she's waiting for the right thing to drop in. And I just, again, blurted it out. I was like, are you saying that you want to partner with me on REVUE? Because it just like felt like we were like
Dancing around it.
the topic, to which you said that the universe gave you the sign 3 times.
So after that first day, Scout and I were like chatting back and forth, and I have like very clearly known that I wanted to do something surrounding a newsletter. Like I think that like as women, we want to know what's going on in the world. We want to be inspired. We want things that feel really good. So I had known I wanted to do something around the newsletter. And then by this time, I'd seen the REVUE newsletter. And it just, after that first conversation.
Yeah, it is fire.
It is. It's so good. After that first conversation of like us saying that, I just had this like feeling, and I've only had this feeling like a couple other times in my life that were like very pivotal moments for me. And so I just like prayed a lot about it to the universe and was like, show me signs, like show me this, show me that. And it was like an influx.
Wow.
It would be like on my way to go hang out with Scout, or like Scout would text me and I would literally see that sign. And
Crazy.
I've got to be honest, I was fighting it.
So was I. I didn't want a partner.
I literally was like, there's no way that it like could fall. What I do next fell into my lap this quickly.
Yeah.
And because I was thinking like, God, I was telling my husband, I was like, whatever I do next has to be so me. It might take me a year to find that. I think that I don't want to be a person that just like jumps out and starts a business just because I need to fill like a void that's in my life. And I was like, so I was really like, no, maybe like kind of going back and forth. It's too soon. How did this happen? And then I obviously went to my meditation mat and started thinking about it. And like all the messages I was getting was like, of course it's this easy.
Yeah.
Like, of course it feels this right. Cause I took like a huge leap of faith leaving what I was doing before. And it's like, of course the universe rewarded that.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
course.
just about to ask, like when you left the previous job, was there a loss of identity? And I'm sure there was like so much uncertainty and so much I can imagine that leaving that you're just like, what am I going to even do with my life? Like, how is this going to get better?
Yeah. What's so funny is for my experience was actually the opposite of that.
Okay.
It was a finding of my identity and realizing that what I was doing was no longer in alignment with actually who I want to be. So although it felt very weird, and it's deeply scary to step out into the unknown. It felt so aligned. It felt so guided. It felt so clear. That it felt like I was finally like honoring myself in a really new, beautiful way. So it wasn't actually a loss of identity. And that's what makes, I think, this even more beautiful is I didn't find this friendship, even this business partnership, in a place of loss or not knowing who I was. It's actually like the most I've ever known who I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you have to do to get to that clarity?
So much personal development work, like deeply spiritual work. I worked with like a spiritual mentor for a year. I worked with a therapist who like specializes in the spirituality world for a year. A lot of time by myself. Yeah. And becoming a mom can really
I'm sure.
awaken you in like a very beautiful way.
Yeah.
Hannah is one of the most, in the best way, like even keeled and trusting person. Because as we were having these conversations, you know, I decided to go to Tulum, and I thought about it in Tulum, and I was like, okay, I think I need to be open to a partnership, but I wasn't like fully there on what that would look like yet. And we met, and I asked her if she would be open to a partnership. Hannah was like, I'd be open to a 50-50 partnership. And I was like, okay, give me some more time to like think about it, because this was not what I was searching for. But throughout this whole process, like, she has been so trusting and so surrendered that like if I had decided not to, she'd be like, well, then it's not meant for me.
Right.
And like the right thing is meant for me that's coming. And it's been awesome for me to witness, because as someone who's more emotional, I can try to control, or I can try to want to know the outcome, or I can like be in my head. And it's been such a great thing to witness Hannah being just so trusting and like surrendered to the process. And that gave me space to make aligned decisions that weren't based off pressure or like people pleasing or anything like that. But as we kept having conversations and as we kept talking, it just kept getting like for example, this was the sign that did it for me personally. We were texting. I said, I texted her after. I was like, okay, let's do it. Like, let's do this together. And I texted her the next day, and I was like, is it crazy if I ask a realtor if I can go see this $3.5 million home that I've been obsessed with, because I can't make the open house, even though I'm like not buying it, but I really want to see it inside? She's like, no, is it this home that I've been stalking? And at the same time, we send each other the same Zillow listing on the same minute.
Yeah.
And like, I screenshotted it because I was like, I need to remember this, because shit like that kept happening.
Yeah.
And I was like,
no, and you can't
crazy.
ignore stuff like that.
You can't. You
and
can't.
I tried to ignore it. I'm not gonna lie.
So
I literally was like, I think too, we connected on such like a deep friendship level so quickly that I was like, I don't want to like jump the gun on this and then find out that it's not for me and like back out. And then like maybe, and all along we said like, it's okay if we are like just friends, you know, it's okay if we're just friends. But this was like, this has been months in the making.
Yeah.
This first conversation was the beginning of June. And then we like officially decided the last week of August.
I mean, that's still pretty quick.
3 months.
That's quick to like start a business with someone that you just met.
I guess.
Yeah, I could see that.
But again, it didn't matter that it was so quick because of all the alignment and all the messaging you guys were getting. Like, who cares what the timeline is if it felt right?
Yeah. We took a lot of time, like, processing, I think, individually as well. But it just kept coming down to, first of all, for me, why I didn't just choose a partnership because of all the signs and all those things.
Yeah.
I chose a partnership because, as you sisters have listened to me talk over the last year and a half, I've had a difficult year and a half. And I think Hannah and I come from similar industries in the past. And knowing that for me personally, that industry is no longer like fully aligned with my soul's expression has been very difficult for me to process and move through. And the recognition that I feel like I've been trying to make progress in my life for 2 years, and I just keep getting like walls put up. Like, I just feel like I'm hitting my head against a wall. And what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing and getting the same results. And I just radically realized that I have to do things differently if I want different results in my life. And a big part of my ego has always been doing things by myself, like
to
alone.
prove it, yeah.
And, I've been the breadwinner of my family. I've been, the sole owner of my business. Like, I carry a lot on my back, and as just one person, and knowing that I'm a mom now and what that means and how that works into my day to day, I was like, I can't get where I want to go alone. And that's not a bad thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Totally.
And I've also never really worked with someone who, like, everyone I worked with at my agency, I hired as employees. And so there is a different dynamic. I've never actually worked with someone who's run a similar business to me and like can meet me eye to eye in those experiences. And so for me, I think in the last couple of months, I've been so committed to doing things differently because I don't like where I'm at, so I have to do something different. And allowing in support and receiving support and not doing it alone is something that I think is the next level, especially as mothers, towards creating some beautiful stuff. And I couldn't ignore all of the synchronicities, all of the alignment. And at the same time, our skill sets are completely different. Like, she doesn't want to touch editorial, or like, I changed the Notion font because it was horrendous. And she was like,
I don't even
the
Notion font. I was like, you can.
Because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, our lanes are so different.
Yes.
Our lanes are so different. And so, it felt radical when I did it, but now I'm like, oh, this, like, I can't, like, I literally wouldn't be here with REVUE because we have some insane things coming up in January.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
No, like insane things.
And also, I think the reason so much abundance is coming to you guys is because of the commitment to one another and to the business. Like, that's what happens. Like, when it's aligned, it's just like floodgates. It's like, it's
literally
crazy.
every single thing we're doing, we're just texting each other like if this isn't the universe saying like run, like take it and run, I don't know what is, because it's like we're not even trying. Like, we're trying obviously, but like everything is just so easy and flowy and beautiful.
That is, I mean, we talked about this on the pod too. A biggest lesson I've learned in my business is like when I do less, more comes to me. Like when I surrender and like things just fucking happen. Like it's magic. Yeah. But it is because you're putting in that intention, and there is like that underlying work, but it's not like I'm pitching to this person. It's like the opportunities just flow, but I'm showing up every day. But it's an intentional showing up, and I think it's so beautiful. But going back to the point, you said, Scout, that, I mean, your whole life you've always struggled with asking for help, and I think it was like older sister syndrome, honestly. But you...
And I think it comes from a deep-rooted, like, because so many people worried about me when I was mentally ill.
Yeah, you don't want to like worry people
overcompensated to like show people how much I can stand on my own 2 feet, and I need to let it go.
For sure, because I know I ask for help all the fucking time.
Yeah, I know. I've like resented you for it.
I know, and it's beautiful because
she literally gets everything that she wants.
I just ask because I ask.
Happening to you too.
I know. Yeah,
literally, I just ask. I literally just like ask for. It's like, I know she's always been so there's an ego. There was like a block. Like, there'd be little things where I'd like ask a brand that was working for us. I'm like, oh, wait, can I have product? And she's like, wait, I didn't ask for, like, I want some. And I'm like, just fucking ask. Like, it's value to them. Like, I'm not just gonna ask for, like, if I know my worth, I know my value, and it's an exchange. And like, I know that what I give them will be, and so I think it's been you understanding your worth. It's been you asking for what you want and outsourcing a little bit of that support and help.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. What were you gonna ask?
Okay, well.
You were gonna ask something. I cut you off.
No. Okay, so let's talk about the REVUE girly swirly. No, she's not a girl. Sorry, she's a woman.
She's a woman. I was literally on a call, and I was saying something like, I don't know, like the aura girly, or you know what I mean? Like, we say girly, and I was like, you know what?
No more girly.
No more girly.
No more girly.
Yeah,
we're women.
REVUE is definitely not girly.
REVUE is not girly.
It's the opposite of girly.
It's sophisticated. It's luxurious. It's intentional. It's not girly.
It's not girly.
Yeah. We're grown up. We have a fucking baby. You think I'm a girly?
Do you guys know that for several years I thought Get Readies with Me were a grown woman on TikTok?
Wait, that is something that I would say for sure.
Honestly, though, like, I feel like I thought that too.
I literally heard someone say that it was a get ready with me, and my world was like rocked. I was like, oh shit.
Well,
Oh my God.
Sorry, that was
you guys should like reclaim that and just be like,
Wait, that's a great idea.
We're the grown woman.
Grown woman.
GRWM.
It was there for a reason.
That is a great idea. Before we get into our question, we would love to hear your thoughts on the review newsletter and the interesting woman and all of the review stuff.
Okay, so review, I mean, you guys have so eloquently described it, this artistry, luxury. To me, what was the thing you said? It's the coffee table book of newsletters. Like that is exactly it. To me, and this is just, I mean, growing up with you, Scout, like this was always who you were.
Yeah.
And I always said this, like that you kind of lost it a little bit in the past couple of years. And not to say that like what you were doing was out of alignment, but you were so like business focused and like like there was a different mind that you were tapping into. Whereas growing up, Scout was always, she was like writing poetry and like, I was like, well, fuck. And I tried to be like, I tried to get on the poetry bandwagon.
I wrote a full book of poetry this summer.
I love it. No, it's incredible. And like, I always saw you as just so much more mature and grown up and really appreciative of the finer things. I mean, literally, Scout cried when she got a Prada baby diaper
We were just
bag.
talking about this.
Like that is, if that isn't review, like I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
And the bitches that got it in the comments, and then the bitches that didn't get it, don't read review. Like the people that just appreciate quality and just, you know, you've always been so into not just fashion, but artists and nicer things. And so it just, it's this perfect culmination of all that. And you feel it as you're reading through it, not only visually, but the words and how you're describing just not even the woman, but I mean, the newsletter is amazing because it gives you it's not just, you know, fluff and poetry, like it actually gives you tangible resources to tap into that interesting woman, right?
Yeah.
The quotes, the podcast, the books, you know, I love the like what's on your wish list, but it doesn't feel like a cheesy, like what's on my wish list this week or whatever. It's like very, and it's discovery. Like I didn't know many of the brands or the things that are mentioned in the newsletter, but I think that's kind of what is the point, is that you're discovering these more niche. I mean, look at the Femoire book or bag that we got you. Like that, I would have never known that bag unless it was in review.
Yeah. Wow.
Did I nail it?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. That makes me so happy. Well, I mean, you know me, so you're describing it as like the perspective of me.
Right.
Yeah, you nailed it.
But it's your soul coming out in a different way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The cool thing too is that we've talked about this so much is like, for me, review is the same, like the same feeling of like a coming back home to, I've carried a lot of shame for like in the past for wanting a life bigger than what I have. I feel like I've had such a blessed life and have been just in a space where people are like, be grateful for what you have, or like, you don't need those big things, or, you know, being raised in certain environments and like.
You don't need the Prada bag, you mean? You don't need
the Prada bag. Well, it depends, you know, in everyone's life, they need different things, but like, I love art and I love like home decor, and like out of high school, I wanted to go to FITM just so that I could like be in the world of like fashion and creativity and the people that attracts. And I lost all of that for a while. So like we've had this conversation a lot, like for both of us, it feels like such a soul alignment and such an expression of like who we are truly meant to be in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And I just like know so much magic's gonna come from that.
I also feel like the review woman is in many ways who Hannah and I aspire to be. Like while it is who we are, right? It's also who we aspire to be in many ways. So it's like every week it's our mood board. Every week it's our vision board. Every week it's an inspiration of the next level that we can get to. And I think that's also the exciting part, because it's almost like this living, breathing manifestation that we're continuously working on.
Yeah.
But essentially, review is for the most interesting woman in the room. It's for women who want that next elevated experience of life, whether it's luxury, quality, artistry, inspiration, personal development, showing up in a much more grounded and mature way. I know that the Revue woman has left her 20s where things were maybe more experiential. They were experimental. They were trend driven. They were a little bit less, some shaky grounds, trying to find your footing. And now I think the Revue woman has woken up. She's looked around. She knows herself. She's not as insecure. She doesn't care that much about what people think about her. And maybe she has a baby, maybe she doesn't, maybe she wants a baby. Motherhood is a big part of the Revue woman for us. Doesn't mean she has to have a child, but for those who do, that is a big pillar of content for us. And she's woken up and she's like, okay, I'm a little more established. I know myself more. I am steady in my career and I can take this to the next level. I am maturing in a way where I want life to feel like a level of quality. And so this is that content hub for them. I mean, we've talked so much on this podcast about social media and content fatigue. I mean, I had to get off Instagram last year. I stopped creating content because everything just felt so homogenous and like people were just copying everybody and there was like no originality anymore. People were hopping on these TikTok trends, which you have a time and place. But what happened is that the point of view started to get diluted between people and it became a formula, like self-expression on the internet became a formula. And I had this premonition and Hannah had the same and we didn't know it, that social media and the way we consume content is going to change. There is a bubble that is going to burst. We cannot continue to consume and scroll things that are mundane and are boring and we're not even actively participating in. And so I've been in a meditation of where is content going? Because who knows, right? You can't predict the future. But I've been feeling like people want something that actually speaks to them and that people would prefer to read one thing that sets them up for an elevated lifestyle that speaks to their soul, that ignites something, than mindlessly scroll through shit to try to find something. And so we're taking it back a little bit. We're taking it back to more of the blog era, more of the magazine era, where it was quality over quantity, where mass production of content isn't the answer to building a big brand, and where people can come and feel something versus mindlessly scrolling through someone that looks the same in every fucking reel that you watch. So I really believe that this is the answer. Like the newsletter, you'll get it every Sunday, and it's the answer to if you feel the way that I felt, not everyone does, and that's why everything is different for different people. But it's the thing that just sets you up for that, and it cures this lack of inspiration that is just missing on the internet.
I feel like for me too, the interesting woman concept came from, so my husband and like all of his friends, they're all part of all these different emails, whether it be like Wall Street Journal or Sports Center or something. And whenever they would come together, I would notice that they would just have a lot to talk about. They would be talking about different political things and just like sports and guy shit, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, women don't have like this common ground of interesting things to talk about. And I think
it's just like housewives or pop culture.
It's pop culture. It's like we're not really like diving into something that feels very intentional. And we just like fell in love with this concept of the interesting woman and like what that means. And I really feel like at the heart of the newsletter, it's really about this concept of women. You know, when you walk into a room, everyone knows this. When a woman walks into a room and she just like stands out, everyone's like, oh, that girl, like she has confidence, she has like depth, like there's more to her. The interesting woman is just deeply connected to themselves. They're deeply connected to what inspires them. They're intentional, like with the type of content that they're consuming, what they're putting into their brain, the people that they're around. And so for me, it's really like, how can we create this feeling in everyone's week where they feel like they now have more depth. They feel like they now have something really fun to bring up at the table at dinner with their friends because it's just something that they wouldn't have seen scrolling on social media. So we're really trying to be a solution for like how the modern woman consumes, because I still want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I still want to see beautiful home decor and I still want to like know what's happening in the, world. But I don't want to do it like this, like scrolling and mind numbing.
It's also so crazy. Like, when has messaging ever been directed at women to be more interesting?
Yeah.
Like, it's never that. It's like hotter, right? Or more beautiful, or, you know, whatever it is. Like, it's never, like, women
It's
have
never intellectual. It's more
yeah, like, but even
superficial.
intellectual, like, feels very narrow. Like, interesting just encapsulates a 360 perspective of a human, which is
Yeah, it's
you
like
know,
the depth of just like
yeah.
being, there's more.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
There's never been marketing for women just to be more interesting.
Yeah. It's like you don't have to be prettier, you don't have to be skinnier, you don't have to be like the fun one. You just literally have to like have depth and connection to what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
a reminder. I have a content strategy for you.
Oh, I've been asking, and every time I try to sit with you, you're like,
this just reminded me, I guess I can tell you now. This reminded me of a girl I follow who I really love, who posts a lot of pop culture stuff, but she does this thing every week that is, I thought, so brilliant, where she says, like, dinner topics of conversation. Like, if you don't have anything to talk about at dinner tonight, like, here's what you could talk about.
Yeah.
And obviously it's like it's pop culture stuff. But that's like, I feel like you guys could do that and just summarize what's in the newsletter and just say, like, don't have anything to talk about at dinner, like, don't know what to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, here's this artist that's doing this. Here's
love
this.
that.
And it's just a long list, and she does it. I'll send it to you. And it's
we
really
could even, like-
and people save it because they're like, oh yeah, like if I forget what to talk about, I can just kind of
just bring
refer,
something
like
up.
reference back to this like cool home that I can like talk about, or whatever point that you guys want
We
to
could
say.
even like rebrand the part in the newsletter, because there's a part that says like news updates and happenings in culture, and it could just be rebranded to like things to bring up at dinner. Because literally, I was on a date
at your next dinner party.
I was on a date with my husband, and my husband like, so tell me what's going on in the fashion world, and I was like, I just wrote the newsletter yesterday.
Yeah.
This guy's stepping down from Celine, and LVMH's quarter is, you know, they're down in revenue for the first 2 quarters, but Gap's making a comeback because they brought on, I'm fucking forgetting his name.
Colt Gaia. Oh, but they're doing
No.
a thing with Colt Gaia though.
Yeah, but they brought on,
they brought up
fuck me. His name is in my face. This happened at date night too. Forgot his name. Zach Posen. And it's like, oh, I just referenced all of those things that I put in there.
But yeah, but I think if the interesting woman had that like screenshot.
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh yeah, I just
That's
read this
cute.
in review.
I love that.
And now I know what to talk about.
I love
That's
that.
so cute. We're gonna hire you as a consultant.
I've been trying to get free strategy out of her, but it won't. So maybe.
Well, it just took the podcast for me to get my
Oh,
juices
okay.
going. But it was exactly what, I think that's exactly what the interesting woman needs in a, like, obviously the newsletter is the front attack, but then you just like distill it down into something that could then funnel back to the newsletter of like, okay, do you want this delivered to your inbox?
But also, sisters that are listening, right now it's a newsletter, but we are launching a full editorial site in January with amazing profiles that are coming out. So the newsletter is like your first like tiptoe into it, and then we're going to create a whole review universe on the website as well.
All right. And now I'm going to put you guys on the spot.
Oh,
Oh, Courtney.
let's hear it, Courtney.
Let's hear it. So Courtney asked if there's ever plans to do a printed magazine, which is brings Scout back to her roots.
I know.
That is a dream. There is something potentially in the works for that for launch. We don't know if it's going to be sold or if you
Are gonna have to
be on
Do something.
Yeah. So subscribe
Courtney,
to
you
the
gotta
newsletter.
do something to
Subscribe.
get the-
I have a feeling Courtney can probably get one, but
Yeah.
subscribe to the newsletter to see if maybe you guys will do a giveaway.
Yeah, to be honest though, I do see like a comeback of that of magazines and
absolutely.
books being more like front and center. I mean, I feel like we're gonna pull this audio in like 2 years, and the way people consume content has completely changed. So never say never. I would love to have like a physical piece, but it's not like part of our launch strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna take some prompts from the review newsletter.
Oh my
and
gosh.
ask you guys on the spot.
This is the end of the day. This is just rude.
I know what's happening.
Okay, these are gonna be easy. So what is your sentiment of the week?
Oh God, my sentiment of the week.
It doesn't need to be like totally profound, but just what's your sentiment?
My sentiment, I have a sentiment of is the sentiment of the week the question you ask yourself? Oh, the beginning. It's the first thing in the newsletter. I was like, what's the sentiment of the week? It's a quote.
Like, we don't know what's in our own newsletter.
Yeah. It's a quote. I open every newsletter with an amazing quote. The sentiment of my week.
It doesn't need to be a quote. Like, it could just be something you're feeling.
I'm feeling like my future self. That's my sentiment of the week.
I love that. This is so cheesy, but like, truly the life that you desire is on the other side of surrender. And it's such a like concept that we all hear, and the truth to it is undeniable once you start to like experience that life. You even touched on it a little bit, like in your own life. So if you're scared to surrender control, it's basically like telling the universe that you don't trust it. You don't trust it to deliver you where you're meant to go. So just like leaning into surrender feels really beautiful.
I always have to remind myself of that.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
like we forget.
Well,
And I'm
us-
like, wait, they're like, when I surrender, better things come. And it's like so weird we forget.
It's like the opposite of an entrepreneurial woman's archetype to surrender. You know, we didn't get here by fully surrendering to some extent, but we're moving into like a new world. Things are changing. Surrender is the core.
I love it. All right, what is inspiring you this week?
My outfit.
Yeah, this outfit is fire. This outfit is fire.
I think this is like an outfit that I should always be wearing. This is, fits my body right, matches my personality.
I see a review wardrobe in the future.
A clothing line? Don't even. I would
Products are like so high on my
products
dream
are. We just don't know
list.
what it's going to be yet.
The community will tell us.
The community will tell. Okay, what about you, Hannah?
What was the question again?
What is inspiring you this week?
Oh, what is inspiring me? I'm doing a photo shoot tomorrow and showing up as like who I know I am, free of doubt of how other people will perceive it, is really inspiring me. It's quite liberating. It feels like running around naked.
I love that. I love that you feel inspired by that and not fearful of that.
Yeah, it feels like a declaration, because like I know I'm different and I feel that so deeply. It feels like letting other people in on it, because I've been hiding on social for a long time. So it feels fun. That's inspiring.
I love it. Yeah. Okay, last one. What is something on your wish list right now?
Oh my God. I just saw this new Kate bag. It was in the newsletter, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, we were literally on the phone and she's like, stop
I know.
this bag.
We were having a meeting and I had to pause it because it was targeted added to me because
I have a feeling that's going to happen a lot with you guys.
Yeah. It's a snakeskin. I'm a sucker for snakeskin. Like anything snakeskin, I will like bow down to. It's this Kate snakeskin, very small bag for a lot of money. And that is like
Kate,
on my...
just Kate? Or are you talking about
K-H-A-I-T-E.
Oh, I've never heard of this.
Oh, it's an amazing brand.
Wow.
So this bag is like living rent free in my mind right now.
Ooh. Yeah, no.
What's on my wish list?
I could tell you.
The whole Helsa line?
Yeah. And the suede, specifically the suede.
Oh yeah, the suede. There is a suede set,
That I
like a
sent her.
jacket and pant
Oh
on
my God.
Helsa crushed fall.
Yeah.
Crushed fall. But like on a like non-materialistic, honestly, like this sounds so cheesy, but I'm going to Minnesota with my family this weekend, my daughter and my husband. And like the mountains are on my wish list. Like I'm so excited to like see a mountain. Who knows, maybe there'll be snow.
I'm craving that too. I've been craving a lake.
Yes, that's literally. Shane told me there's a ton of lakes there, and I'm like, that is on my wish list. Like, I just want to see a lake.
I've actually been being called to a lake this entire year, and I still have never been to it.
Ooh, there's something there.
Something is in the lake.
Yeah,
for
dead
me.
people.
Well,
Dead people are in the lake.
The
I don't
lake-
fuck with lakes. There are dead people in the lakes.
You are not.
It's like the epitome of nature. So your
It's
body is
just-
probably like craving some grounding,
And
some
it's also just
disconnection.
so serene. Like ocean, obviously I love the ocean. We grew up near it and like I crave it too, but it's loud. There's movement.
The waves
Whereas-
like take you down when you're trying to
yeah,
like
when
chill.
you're trying to just like
It's a
chill
little
and you're just
dangerous.
like toppling over and drowning. Like where a lake is like you could hear a pin drop. It's
What
just,
about a bay? What on a bay?
No, a bay's
No,
gross.
a lake.
Dead fish
when
are in a
we-
bay.
When we, well, I guess
Better
dead
than-
people are dead,
Dead
fish.
fish.
We don't know.
Dead fish.
When we go to Nashville, when you go on the lake, you'll understand. It was my first time ever on a lake,
Ooh.
and I was like, oh,
Okay.
yep,
Yeah, it's definitely
You
wish
get it.
list
You get it.
material.
I'll try.
It's a mood.
I love that.
I have weird ideas about a lake, but I'll give it a try.
Oh yeah, no, we're going on it.
Is there
So-
anything else we want to leave them with?
Well, before we
Well,
wrap
yeah.
up, I would love Mady to give a couple tips to Hannah of how to work with me.
How do I work?
I know. I don't.
Wow, really?
You don't
have
have
nothing
any?
to say about me?
Other than the fact that she's
Like,
difficult.
what am I like? What am
You're
I like?
definitely not difficult.
What am I like to work with you?
She is very, like she's such a go-getter. I think some. Okay, I have some few things.
I'm like, watch, I've already
She
figured them all out.
She has a lot of ideas.
Yes.
And she will just start doing them without really thinking through a lot of them. But I've always said this about Scout. She is the type of person that just jumps off a cliff, like just says, okay, the parachute could come up, it couldn't, or we don't know. I don't give a shit. Me, I'm like, all right, let's check the safety. Let's like a little bit check things. So, and it's really inspiring in the beginning because you get hyped up with her. But I noticed that she then will drive herself into the ground, working too much on it, and then burn out and not be able to like follow through with it. So I think what you could do in the beginning is be like, hey, like awesome idea. Like let's kind of scale it back.
You're like
or,
explaining my archetype. I'm like, that's cute for 5 years from now.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. So I think you guys will balance each other out, but like, just know that about her and maybe just bring her down to earth a little and like set some more realistic goals, because I think that's something where she'll just she'll go insane.
I'm
just,
trying to catch my manic energy.
Yeah, there's a little manic in there.
We're like
for
a
sure.
great balance. And so anybody that's listening that doesn't know what human design is, I'm like obsessed with human
same.
design. And I'm a projector. So my
Same.
mind, really, oh my gosh. I love projectors. Our minds are very strategic and very like big picture and we can see the outcomes of things. Like Scout can be like, oh, this is a good idea. And my mind goes 20 steps ahead to like how that's going to benefit us later. And I feel like every like business partnership, having like a generator who can like really generate the energy and like keep the projector like excited about the vision, and then a projector who can like navigate those big ideas is like chef's kiss.
That's the perfect combo. I love it.
Anything positive about me?
Oh, no, but she's just very passionate. Like she will, and she's very loyal and she's consistent. And I think that's really, really key in business.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, well, you can, if you want to sign up for the newsletter, should we do a custom URL or is that too difficult?
No, we could do a custom.
Okay, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
We'll put this in the show notes, sisters. If you want to sign up for the newsletter, because I hope I fucking sold you on it, revueeditorial.com/OKSister, a little custom landing page for you guys. You can sign up. You'll get the Sunday newsletter every single Sunday, and you will be first to know come launch in January, because we have a lot of things going on January and February.
Should we ask our final question?
Oh,
though?
sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it to Hannah.
Hannah. Now we're back to both hosting the pod.
I'm like, wait a second.
Hannah, if you could brag about one thing and you weren't allowed to be humble, what would you brag about?
I'm a really fucking good mom. Oh, it's going to make me cry. I feel like that's literally whenever I like get weary in other areas, I just like feel like I'm a really good mom. And that's like really just a great feeling.
Yeah.
That's
It's the
beautiful.
foundation of everything else.
And I think a lot of moms are good moms and they're just not willing to give themselves credit. So that's my humble brag. I'm a good mom. I care a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, man, you really do. You are a very good mom.
Thank you.
Yay.
That's beautiful. Okay, sisters, follow us at Revue Editorial on Instagram and on TikTok.
Yes.
Sign up for the newsletter. All the links will be in the show notes. And I can't wait to invite you on this ride. And follow Mads at Mady Mayo.
Oh, follow me on Scout too, because we're going to be doing so many fun like BTS of launch.
Oh, yes. Well, if you sisters don't follow me already, I think there's
what
an
are
issue.
you? What are we doing?
I'm at Gabrielle Scout Sobel. Hannah?
I'm at Hannah M. Wells.
Beautiful. That'll all be in the show notes too. Okay. Love you, sister.